So this is an attack on you and your family, and they don't want you to know they're doing it, even though it's declassified. So what I'm telling you is a fact. It's worse than I'm saying, because there's no way to describe how horrible this is and how big this is and how stinking this is. I can't tell you about the Matrix. You're going to have to decide you want to take the red pill and see it for yourself. Just take the red pill, people! Imagine if people are mad that they test shampoo on bunnies. Where's the concern about human testing? That's going on. Or the chimera testing. Yes, they're growing humanoids inside pigs, sheep, and cows that are part human. So are the pigs and cows, so they don't reject them. I'm showing MIT on screen human-animal chimeras gestating on research farms across the U.S. And it's not a radical new approach. It's been going on for 50 stinking years. They're just getting ready to roll it out, but they're rolling it out their way. How cute and fun it is. See? And they can have folks at Fox News make fun of me and sit back in a confidence game like they're at the frat back in college when the new guy walks in and they all act confident and go, Alex Jones claims there's chimeras. They've done You're sitting there with almost no audience. And those that do watch you don't trust you. You're a joke. What, you got a bunch of, I love old people, but you got a bunch of, I mean, look at the ads, catheter ads and all the rest of it. You got a bunch of 85 people, 85-year-olds on average who aren't even there because they think the girls are pretty. You're all typecast to make 85-year-olds think you're cool. I mean, you're really cool. You're really trailblazing the future. With computers and robots and upscaling technology, we should all be working 10, 20 hours a week on really fun, interesting projects and going to the stars and just having incredible medical developments that are guided by moral compass and preparing ourselves to go to the next level of human development, which is just unbelievably amazing. Not going to happen. The elite have stated in thousands of white papers that we've covered hundreds of them here that they've decided that you're unwashed, you're going to be drugged, chemicalized, entertained into a stupor, and you're going to be given cancer, and you're going to be phased out. Pretty soon, though, it'll be neurological disorder will be the main cause of death, that and infectious disease. And they tell you they're killing you. And see, they tell me they're killing me in all these books, and I see them actually setting it up and putting the tracker boxes of the cars, and just as like a normal mammal, I go, oh, get ready, folks, rally, do something, look at them. And people are like, shut up, man. The cowboys are coming on, baby. And then I'm the weirdo because as a normal man, I'm just trying to survive and have a future for humanity. People look at me and they go, you care about other people? You actually care? My problem is you try to help a lot of people and they don't want your help. You try to show people the secrets of how things operate that are hiding in plain view. They don't want it. They like the way they see the world and they don't care what's really there. You know, this isn't my opinion. The stuff we cover here is a fact. And the difference is now people know that's true. They know that really it's worse than I'm saying, that I don't have the words. I don't have the verbal, semantical thesaurus to paint you a picture of the abject horror that we're going into. And right behind a paper-thin wall are the nastiest, most despicable, most dehumanizing, most horrifying things you could ever imagine. I was told by a genetic engineer about a project they were on in England once, and I never told the story on air because it's so fantastical. Oh, God. They had in tanks people with gills, and they were little babies, and they were in there just gulping, clawing at the sides. You see a turtle at the zoo, and it wants out, and you feel for it. They got humanoids crossed with fish and stuff. I mean, we are screwed, people. I mean, do you understand that? And I know I keep obsessing because it's in the news, what they're doing now. They don't show it to you. They just go, yeah, gestating on farms or embryos of humans growing in animals. No, it's beyond that. They take them out. They keep them alive. And notice they go, the only law is you don't put it in a real human woman. And don't worry, these creatures don't have any rights because they're not human and they're not animal. They're in that phantom zone. They're in that fifth dimension of the Twilight Zone. And they're just opening the gates of hell. And I just can't sit here and go along with all the pomps and the stupid Hollywood people and everyone preening and driving their $200,000 cars and getting off on being on TV. I don't even hardly watch when I'm on television. I hate it. I hate this whole culture. I hate the whole thing. It means nothing to me. It's all fake. It's all a facade. And behind it are mad scientists in the Hall of the Mountain King just doing God knows what, super weapons, antimatter bombs, black holes, huge cyclotrons, splicing every plant and animal on the known face of the earth, and it's the most satanic rituals you can imagine. Those are satanic rituals. Detonating hundreds of high-powered hydrogen bombs in the 1960s in the upper atmosphere to see if they could detonate the Earth's atmosphere and blow holes in the Van Allen radiation belt is so satanic. Splicing little babies with fish is satanic. Putting prions and all this garbage in our food is satanic. You think real Satanists go and just sit there and have sex with some hot chick on a black altar? That's how they get the low-level people in. Real Satanism is about murdering this planet, and all you stinking Satanists are nothing but cowards that have tried to join this system. You have no idea what Lucifer's got in store with you. You scum. You're going to be torn limb from limb slowly. You're going to beg. Your deaths are going to be slow. Know that, scum. The gulping humanoids in their tanks, scrabbling at the side with human horror in their eyes. But don't worry, Time Magazine will write some jokes. Media Matters will have little trendies with different colored socks and little beards that talk in metrosexual voices going, look at Alex Jones laughing about humanoids. You know, they've all had stories. It's so funny, isn't it? It's going to be funny when you're dying at 40-something of a neurological disorder. It's going to be real funny when your friends and family are all dying around you, but you'll be so in entertainment. And, oh, I brought flowers by. Yeah, she's dying at 30 of lung cancer. Oh, I'm doing a jog to find a cure. Yeah, you don't even care about people dying. The truth is you like it. You don't have any empathy. You don't care. You just want to go buy shampoo that has a little bunny symbol on it that says it wasn't tested on animals. Thank God the shampoo wasn't tested on animals. If you just look at all these separate pieces, you're not going to get the answer. But if you pull back and study the white papers written by the technocrats and the controllers, they're very, very clear about what they're doing. And it's a story. It's a blueprint. It's a plan that everybody needs to know. But this is what it comes down to. The globalists, as we've talked about, are eugenicists. They believe that they are taking control of human development and evolution, in their words. They're playing God. They're mad scientists. And they have an excuse that they kill us and dumb us down for our own good because we're a big, giant, dangerous, out of control infestation on the earth, likened to high-tech army ants in the Brazilian rainforest that can clear dozens and dozens and dozens of acres a day, eating every piece of foliage down to the bone, before the New York Times writes an article saying that I don't know that plants don't have bones. It's a figurative statement. Down to the bark. And that they're doing all this in an emergency procedure to try to take control of humanity and direct its development to reduce us down to a manageable 200 million people. That's the official UN program. And some are saying, yeah, we know this. We've been to the UN's website. We've heard Ted Turner. We've heard Prince Philip. We've all gone to college. We've all heard this. We know this. Tell us something we don't know. I'm just restating to you what their goal is. I mean, that's pretty darn important to understand that they've got a cosmology where they can absolutely target every man, woman, and child on Earth and incrementally dumb us down and poison us and use cultural warfare systems on us to hamstring our species and to shut down our life force prime programming and then turn us inwardly as a civilization against each other. And first they set up the first world against the third world. But internally they set up the family against each other and the cultures against each other. And at every level, it's about siphoning off productivity to get everyone in a position where they're completely unnatural, completely disconnected from reality, completely confused, and fighting with each other so that there's not enough resources to go around to create a negative economy that begins to implode like a black hole. Well, number one, then you study the globalists. They're some of the most wicked, hateful, evil people who actually enjoy what they're doing. And they're releasing the most dangerous technologies you could imagine that are killing the Earth itself while they claim they're preparing to cull humans in the name of saving the Earth. But then when you study what they're actually doing, they block programs that would reduce population in areas it should be released and should be reduced because it's untenable. They will block clean industrial movements that would cause the 1.5 child model. And then you can say, well, that's just because they're not coordinating this properly. No, you read deeper into their actuaries, like the Royal Commission in 59 and others, and they admit that's their plan. And then you pull back from it and you realize, oh my God, it's a plan to kill humans and kill animals and kill the oceans and kill the atmosphere. And whoever these people are, whatever they're doing, wherever they came from, whatever it is, it's anti-life on this planet, and it's rewriting and taking everything over. So that's what it comes down to. And so I can't just sit here and cover the window dressing of things and make jokes about this commentator and jokes about that commentator and just make fun of the social justice warriors who are just a few stages brainwashed and brain damaged down the room as we are. And I can't make fun of the people that are in fantasy land and only care about movies and comic books and video games, because those are a lot of intelligent people who subconsciously have just decided to punch out because they don't believe they can change anything and have just given up on life. And that's another fundamental truth, is that when you're given enough food, even if it's tainted, and enough water, even if it's tainted, and you're not physically under attack at a level that's completely clear to you, a lot of people will just basically go into a morass and put up with it and shut off and basically decide that they don't have any power and they can't have any effect. The reason we're dying is the entertainment, television, unnatural culture. And people say, well, then why are you on television? Well, I mean, why were they jacking into the Matrix and sending Morpheus and Neo in if they were against the Matrix? That's a stupid question. Basically, everyone's having a debate now. They're going, okay, there is a planetary government. Okay, it's very totalitarian. It is eugenics-based. It's anti-human. It's very oppressive. It's very deceptive. It's very hypocritical. Okay, the whole move for world government was not to bring in world peace and to stop weapons proliferation. It was about bringing in a hegemonic banking cartel to consolidate financial power, bring everyone else to their knees, bankrupted, so they can dictate the terms. And the terms are a narcoleptic extermination, a phased-out culling of humanity, a childhood's end, but not run by aliens. I mean, we're here, it's real, face it, or Go watch NFL, party, drink, and just say you don't care. But I'm telling you it's going on. And why? Where are the survival instincts? Because people in a dream don't feel like they've got to fight back because the mind at a subconscious level knows it's not real. This is real. The system wants you to be in a dream. This is real, folks. It's all over the place. You can't deny it. In fact, it's worse than I can say because I can't ever line it all up and explain it all. It's too big. One cannot see the Matrix in a trance. You can only see it by waking up out of it. One cannot be told about it. It's like being 12 years old and talking to your big brother, you know, who's 18 and got a super hot girlfriend, and she's like, what's it like when she's in the back seat of that car with you? And you know, you say, son, you just got to experience it for yourself. You got to experience those good things in life. A woman that loves you pressed up against you, kissing her, and all that passion, running your hands through her hair. You got to experience that. And until you've experienced it, people don't know what it's like. Well, you've got to experience monkey farms in Bastrop run by UT, killing hundreds of apes and monkeys a week, testing different psychological warfare systems, and mainly just testing flicker rates with televisions, how to bring them in and out of trances, how to program them, how to show them television, and then to see what makes them more suggestible, and then they kill them. And then they take that primate study and they bring humans into the lab run by DARPA at the cute, politically correct UT. I mean, you know, they tell you what language to use because they're real liberal. They walk around and act real trendy, so they're non-threatening when they are priest of the end of humans, high priest of doom, high priest of a suicide cult. Dr. Pianka, you know, we had the FBI investigate him, and we talked about it. The FBI did go there. He's on TV going, yeah, the bioweapon will soon be out. 90% will die. I'm ready for me and my family to die. Soon it'll be airborne, like something out of, you know, 12 Monkeys. And you go to his UT website, and he's talking about how much he loves Lucifer in druidic robes, and you find out he's like the head of one of the departments. And then I started getting threats. I've told the story many times. I'll tell it again because I'm just getting back to the basics. I can't help it. This is what it's all about. All this other stuff's window dressing. And we get this threatening letter, you know, saying, how dare you talk about this great man? And we look at who her name is, and then later find out, you know, find articles she's written about him positively, and that she now works at a big bio research facility in California at the time. Advanced genetic engineering facility. And here she is. I'm trying to find a photo of her with her craze looking around on this power trip. And she sent us this letter. And she said, of course, Pianka is, you know, quite kind. He's quite moderate. It's only saying 90%. Can you not deny humans are a parasite that must be dealt with and should probably be extincted? To think, Dr. Pianka, that he's so gracious. See, they put themselves in this position of everyone's going to die if we choose it. Of course, how he's quite liberal and quite kind, only want 90% to die. He's a great man. There are those of us who absolutely understand that more will be done. I mean, it's just like, what? And they're nobodies. They're these soft, power-tripping people who just get off on the idea of deciding who lives and who dies. And he got a standing ovation in March of 2006 at the Texas Academy of Sciences. I had reporters on that were there. There were photos, too. The standing ovations went on 3 times, one of them a minute long, with people crying as he projected a giant PowerPoint of skulls from Rwanda with human skulls with a red filter on it. And he said, we must basically get rid of the human population. It's a disease. And it was a power-tripping goblin moment where they were hopping up and down and crying. And I mean, you know, you need to understand who you're dealing with. You know, and you know, Obama had his tranny nanny over in Indonesia, and you know, was there in the mosque, you know, getting getting diddled and everything else. Whatever. The point is that you're obsessed with it, and you want to F us over because you were archetypally taught to hate John Deere hats and farmhouses and you know, jumbo jets and wealth and strength and honor, and you never really felt like you were accepted in the West, so you want to defecate all over. You're just a hater. You and Hillary and all the other crones and hunchbacks and Madeleine Albright, who said 500,000 dead Iraqis is a good price to pay for security in the Middle East when you were destabilizing one of the only good countries in the region comparatively. You're just allied with evil. So I'm straight talking to you right now. Get off our ass. Stop trying to mount our head on the wall. You globalists conquered America. You run the whole show. Why do you want to feed it into a wood chipper? Because the spirit of it threatens you because you're inherently evil. Even though you dominated it by sneakiness and took control of it, you want to sink it because then you might be somebody if it didn't exist in the world. You'll always be a loser. You'll always be a pseudo-intellectual. You'll always be an occultist deep at heart who wants to operate in the hidden instead of out in the open with the Enlightenment. You're the opposite of illuminated. You hate it. And you hate us, and you hate our existence, but no matter what you do, the true spirit of liberty will always live on, and we will always be upright and strong and honorable. You will always be fallen, ugly, stupid, and degenerate and filthy. So go join all your radical Muslim cohorts and go straight to hell. But let me tell you what sells stuff is being genuine and being off the cuff and being real. Hillary does engage in neuro-linguistic programming. It's dumbed down, it's mindless, and it targets people that are already in a trance, basically. But it's the TV flicker rate, it's the fluoride in the water, it's the culture, it's the sedentary nature that prepares the ground for neuro-linguistic techniques to take hold. And if you want to dumb down neuro-linguistic programming, or the voice, as Frank Herbert would call it, you would play the clip, the famous clip from Episode 4 Star Wars. How long you have these droids? I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons. These aren't the droids you're looking for. You can move along. These aren't the droids we're looking for. You can move along. That's an exaggerated example of that. So when you listen to NPR, that is a project of the Rockefeller and Annenberg project of the Defense Department. And the whole thing is about making you think you're intellectual, controlling the left, and putting them in a sedate, calm, tranced fashion. I have been told by NPR, when I've been on multiple national interviews, later they call back and go, oh, we're not airing your interview. They said your voice was too aggressive and too raspy and too upsetting. Too awakening. Too awakening. They didn't use that word, but they said just too upsetting. And they'd ask me, can you just calm down and just slow down? Because with them, it was all about, that project is about capturing people. Everything is calm. Everything is good. I don't know why Donald Trump acts like that. I don't know why he doesn't like women. All I do know is we're going to win. That's Hillary Clinton. And Obama is clearly trained in a cadence and trying to, it's fake. It isn't as powerful as taking the gloves off, real deal. Sometimes I'm gibbering 100 miles an hour. Sometimes I'm talking slow. It's what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and your subconscious mind is 1,000 times more sophisticated and is able to read what's genuine versus what's fake. But these people are sociopaths and psychopaths, and they're so ungenuine, so disingenuous, that you study sociopaths and psychopaths because they're not real. They're like, I've got a little puppy kid, get in the car. They're all about smiley and dressing non-threatening. And, oh, hi, I brought you some presents. Oh, hi, we're friends. I've always learned now when a sociopath is around, they do all this, oh, we're, but you look, you can tell it's fake. And it's overdone. And they come and they bring you gifts and they do, you know, internet videos with, you know, with Muppets, how they're friendly and how they're nice and how they're here to help. Because they don't know how to be real, so they're trying to study how to be genuine. And then folks see something genuine and they say, Well, that looks like neuro-linguistic programming to me, and that's just because you haven't been around anything genuine. Or you get around the general public who's, you know how to talk? Whatever. I don't care. Nobody hates me. I'm in my own world. Yeah. So much the public's just so beaten down, they just want to get in their own little clique with a few people under them so they can be the boss and so they can have the power. Because they don't have the power. Here's what I'm getting at. To the so-called elite. You're going to destroy everybody. You're going to destroy the planet. Where you're going won't work. You're not going to merge with machines and become gods. Get off your crazy power trips. You have really got to transcend this for yourself to transcend. You are not going to dumb everybody down and go to the next level. That is not how the universe works. Just at a mathematical level. Mathematical, cultural, algorithm measurement. Quantified first and put into popular culture by Isaac Asimov. In his Foundation series, you are not, which was obviously what they were shooting for and what they were planning for even 50 years before. They were just putting into a cosmology there to roll out the public, where they have computers hooked into everything that can predict the future off mass movements. They now have that. And so all this other stuff is just a side issue once you fully grasp that. That you cannot dumb the public down to make them manageable and directable with stimuli and say they have no soul and say they have no destiny and say they have no innate free will without it creating a group consciousness shift that will also destroy your consciousness. And that's very simple to understand. You create a interdimensional fourth and fifth dimension plane and program that with a smart grid, an extermination dumb grid, and you put that into place, you are going to create an evil paradigm. And that just means it's destructive, it doesn't grow, it's not healthy, it's not good. And it's like a black hole. It gets worse and worse as you feed more into it. It will demand everything. It will take everything down to absolute zero and will accelerate everything in a pyramidal structure into absolute tyranny. And this is just so simple, and the establishment says they understand this, but they don't follow it. Because they want to have their next level of managers who, meanwhile, going along with this project going, it's sure ugly, it's sure dangerous, it sure looks bad. They go, it's for the greater good. We must come through this great time of testing first. Well, you're not the ones testing humanity playing God. You're delusional. You're not providing stimuli that makes us stronger. You're providing twisted stimuli that makes us adapt to being enslaved and destroyed. Look at the fruits of this tree. It's stinking, it's rotten, it's poisonous, it's ugly. It's bad, it's diseased. And you're planting more of these trees and taking resources to grow this culture of darkness, because the truth is only evil, twisted people who fall into complete, absolute evil would want to build something like this, and you've only lied to yourselves about what you're really building and who you are deep inside. And I'm speaking to the next echelon level right below the actual controllers. When you get to the controllers, they know full well what they're doing and are practitioners of dark arts so evil, I don't even want to imagine them. We'll be back. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Hell is being built on Earth. Yes, humans can dream and build anything. And our elites are very wicked and twisted. They're building something very ugly and something very scary. Free humanity must rally against it now. When you start reading the globalist white papers, when you start reading the globalist textbooks that they use at PhD and above level, when they talk about us as ugly animals that must be exterminated, that must have our free will taken, that must be dumbed down before their world government can come into place, and then how we'll all be systematically wiped out with designer bioweapons that the controllers will be given immunity to, you know why Ian Fleming wrote Moonraker at that point. And then, well, football games don't matter as much as they did. Or somebody cutting you off in traffic doesn't really matter anymore because you don't take it personal anymore. You are now awake while the rest of the public sleeps. But you're not a psychological, spiritual, cultural vampire like the globalist. There are two types of people in general, those that are awake, those that aren't. But in the group that's awake, there is the separation of those that decide to use the ignorance of the general public against them and those that decide to try to empower the general public. And the general public's been given all these different programs, all these different learned responses, all these different hypnotic suggestions, you name it. It's all being used and tested as they develop better and better systems of control. You're looking at engineered victims, and they're certainly dangerous. They're certainly arrogant. They're certainly narcissistic. They're certainly sociopathic. They're certainly insecure. It's a mix of what they've done to the public. And it's very easy to hate them. It's very easy to want to hide from them. But we have to get in there and find as many of these people that still have some consciousness as we can to try to get in there and shake them out of their trance so they can start looking around them and get out of this matrix. It really comes down to that. So the worst thing you can do is sardonically start having the attitude of the establishment and just seeing the public as a bunch of dumb lemmings. And then getting off on that, having some sort of sick satisfaction. That's the worst thing you can do because this isn't funny. And don't think all this cultural evil, all this cultural twistedness isn't going to blow back on everybody. That's another big lie the establishment have told themselves, that they somehow can transcend what they've helped do. Now, I just mentioned one article and went off on a 30-minute jag about it. But it's a pretty big deal. They've always known that you need a very small amount of calcium fluoride in your diet or you'll die. And it's used in bone formation and a lot of other activities in the body. What they put in the water is not calcium fluoride. It's jacked up, electrified acid that then is an adjuvant, so they don't have to put as many of the other drugs in the water supply that they add for social engineering. It's a booster, a money saver. Don't you understand? You want to make fun of the public? Folks, they're drugged. They were raised in front of televisions from birth. It's a wonder they can function at the level they can. And again, that's what this comes down to. It's the incredible, over-the-top, epic, legendary truth that we are living in the beginning of a directed scientific dictatorship that is meant to end humanity as we know it. And again, that's the emergency transmission I continue to send out, because outside of that, all of this is just window dressing. The cashless society cometh. European nations such as Sweden and Denmark are eradicating cash. The average person thinks that if they just accept something, that gives them power over it. Instead of understanding they can then tax you, track you, control you, and then make you pay money to use the digital money. It will give them the greatest control over individual freedom and markets the world has ever seen. If you think they're rigging markets now, you ain't seen nothing yet. And they're not rigging markets to make the general public prosperous. They're rigging markets to consolidate control. But I hear the average yuppie go, I don't care. I just want a chip. It'll be so much easier. Oh, it'll be a lot easier. Yeah, they want to move us to a system where underground economies are impossible because they really care about us. We're not being domesticated because we're going to be like Shetland ponies on the back 100 acres that the little girls go out to and feed sugar cubes to. We're not being domesticated to even be eaten. Though in the process, our organs will be harvested when the elite want to. We're being domesticated because we're seen as a dangerous scourge that has to be defanged, declawed, and chained down before we are decapitated. And the chains are going on right now. Those who the gods would destroy, they first make mad. I forget who said that. And these so-called gods, these modern Neros, you really think the real creator of this planet is going to let you win? See, you're handicapped. You don't have the dimensional connections to the spirit world, and so you don't realize that what you're doing is demonic, and what you're doing is the pure nature of evil to end free will and to play God and to not let humans develop naturally. You'll argue there is no natural development. There is no unnatural mutation. I've heard it all from the IBM executives and the rest of them. Okay, I know what you're going to say before you think it. Talking to people out there that buy into all this crap because you went to some meeting at a university and got patted on the head because you think you're part of the crew now. You idiots. I'm talking to new listeners that serve the establishment. You think you're going to prey on your fellow humans and ascend to the next level? That's 101 as a rule in the universe, that you're going to be absolutely brought down for what you've done. You people are the opposite of the type of spirits because you're not even spirits. You're little greedy bastards. You're not even alive. You've lost your souls already. And you're so dead, you think you're going to merge with a machine and become alive? If you were alive, you'd know that that would be the end of your humanity. Not to use a machine to augment you or help you survive, or no, a machine that makes you a god, a machine that takes over your free will, a machine, give me a break, a machine made by men. And you think it's the God. And you'll want to believe it's artificially intelligent. You'll want to believe it has all the answers. When all the answers were laying in front of you. It's like when your kids will be looking for their hat or looking for their homework, and they're going, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And it's like right there on the table in front of them. Interesting article, though, because it admits you're not going to have your jobs, you have no future, and should you even be kept around as a workforce? No, they'll be a workforce. They're going to be the new political minders in the next to last phase to help bring down anybody that doesn't want to merge with this.
H.R. 2977 is a bill that was introduced into the 107th U.S. Congress in 2001, and chemtrails were referred to as an exotic weapons system. And supposedly chemtrail spraying over humans in the U.S. gained its legality from U.S. Code Title 50, Section 1520, which gives the Secretary of Defense authority to order testing involving the use of a chemical agent or biological agent on civilian population for research purposes.
That's right. Well, U.S. Code Title 50, U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, paragraph B, quote, prohibits secret testing, including lethal, unless it's for research or law enforcement purposes.
Yeah.
So it's okay to kill us or test on us if it's for research or law enforcement purposes.
Yeah, that's right. And what people don't realize is when they block the UVB rays, this is a whole nother eugenics program. You block the body and the plant's ability to grow properly, and you block vitamin D production.
And that's why Cass Sunstein at the White House wants a law banning saying sunlight is good. He wants a law where your kids aren't allowed to have it. It's child abuse. I wanted to open this up, but I got distracted doing the Facebook mentions and stuff, was just saying, look, I don't claim to have any of the answers, okay? But I've studied what the New World Order, the technocrats have said. They're very arrogant, criminals brag. They have a plan for you and your family. Please go look at what they said. It's horribly authoritarian. It's horribly centralized. It's horribly anti-human. And understand that if you're following the modern system of right-wing or left-wing establishment garbage, you are a chump. You are under the control of a system that is totally cold-blooded and centralized. And sure, it's easy to take over with centralization. I know why the elites do it. It works. But it ends up wrecking humanity. It's a fraud. So I don't have the damn answers, but I'm telling you something. The globalists have it out for you and have written 100+ textbooks admitting it. So I don't claim to have a certified, corner on reality. All I know is history's replete with examples of people blindly trusting those that claim they have some utopia to offer them if they just give up their free will and just talk like they say and do what they say, and if everybody dresses the same and talks the same, we're all going to enter heaven, we're all going to enter Valhalla, we're all going to enter Nirvana. Every time you enter a god-awful hell. But if you take time out to read the white papers, to read the books written by the social engineers, you'll understand this is a plan by design that they're very proud of. And they think you're too stupid to go find out this has been laid in the foundations of the global government operation to turn you into someone who isn't even conscious, someone who isn't even alive, someone who isn't even sentient, and so someone who doesn't even have rights. And their big joke is you have to be convinced to accept it and that you will sign away and write away by thousands of decisions on paper, millions of little decisions, but thousands of big decisions that you will submit to them and opt into their operation and opt in to losing your humanity and what's left of it. And the social engineers believe that you have no right to consciousness because if you were ever conscious to begin with, you couldn't have been induced to waive your rights and become a mind-wipe slave to begin with. So we're cutting right to the chase here, the foundation of where all this comes from, what it's currently doing, and where it's going. I've got plenty of riveting, powerful news today, and we're going to get into it right now, but I just need to relay to everybody that this is not a simulation, this is not a drill, this is not a game, it's not a joke, it's really happening. And ask yourself, you feel safe with a government that told you Obamacare would be free when it didn't? You feel safe them telling you 2 + 2 = whatever they say? You think we're going in a good direction when they tell you they never were going to put troops on the ground and never said they would, and it's a lie? When they're gearing up with armored redoubts and putting all sorts of garbage in the food and water, you go, oh, there's nothing in the food and water. Yes, there is, and you know it. They knew full well what aspartame and glyphosate and MSG and all the rest of the garbage does. They know what the mercury does in the vaccines. They know what the adjuvants do. They know. And it just continues on. And they don't take it out even when they get caught. Because they're committed. They're breaking us right now. And it's satanically inspired. I mean, I've really studied it. We've got God inspiring us. They got the devil inspiring them. And all I can tell folks is get ready and hold on to your hat because all these elites are working to survive what they think's coming. They think they're doing an emergency surgery on the earth to save it. But in truth, you look at everything they're doing, they're killing it. Folks, just don't be bored out there, people. That's if you're tuning into mainstream media, you're bored because that's a false reality. You feel like it's not fulfilling because it's empty. If you're tuned into the real world, folks, you'll be on fire. It is incredible what's happening.
Oh, I walk around just ticked half the day, most of the days of the week. I mean, just angry at what I'm seeing.
Because you're awake, brother. God bless you. You know what's going on. Your spirit's alive. You're awake. You're tuned in. You're not dead. They live. We sleep. Well, what happens when we live? Spiritually. They need us dead spiritually, asleep to rule us. And I mean, we live in a country where they kill babies and sell their body parts and where they do put chemicals in the water to brain damage you and your family and cause infertility. That's just the start. You understand? We live in a country with thousands of aircraft flying around spraying poison on us. And mothers that talk about it get arrested and have their kids taken in Colorado. It's going to get a lot worse, folks. They're coming for everybody. Do you understand that? And what's sad is they want to force you to submit to their evil because they want your soul. They want your will. They want you to willingly turn yourself over to it. And that's how a coward dies 1,000 deaths is they convince themselves that the evil is good and lie to themselves and accept the evil as if it's not bad because they're so scared of the truth deep down. They decide to have a great delusion. They decide to become mentally ill. And they decide to believe that the evil is good and that the good is evil. All the different things that are unfolding, all the things that are happening, and that the elite have made the decision that humanity's trash and to use all this technological development to set up a highly synchronized, well-oiled, actuaried, blueprinted, over-the-horizon system to take control of planetary development to carry out the next phase of their plan. And I don't know the next phase yet. I mean, they say they're going to kill 80% of the public. That's in the public documents. In the higher level, it's 90%. You get into higher level academics, they say, no, we're just going to kill everybody. We're a disease. It's a cult of hating humans. And only one superhuman will merge the machine, a la 2001 Space Odyssey. Then they admit that's just a hive mind of our collective consciousness to be uploaded to some larger being they believe they're building. Did somebody beam plans out of deep space into their heads, or where did this come from? It's directly out of childhood's end. Man, I'm telling you, folks, I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's bad. It is bad news. And I'm sitting here watching it, and it's all mechanized, it's all ordered, it's all been war gamed, and it's all been blueprinted, and that's all public. And then I've got to sit there and watch weirdos on arrogant power trips on MSNBC lie about myself and others like they're winning, attacking me, because they get to be on TV and prance around and show off to poor people at TV stations and, you know, be cool and be to the DNC and RNC around a bunch of sellout Muppets. The thing is, they're selling out to lose. They're selling out to fall. When you sell out, you don't win. Don't you want to see humanity win? Don't you want to learn what they're doing, the mysteries? Don't you want to find out who's really running all this stuff? No. I don't want to do that. I want to. I see all these men trying to look like the guy from The Hangover. You know, he's got the beard or whatever. And they're just they're all trying to be ironic and smart and intellectual. And I don't feel tough that I could take on like 15 of them, folks. I could go randomly pick out like 15 trendies, big 200-pound ones, whatever. And I could just dominate all of them. I mean, I'm not even into, as a man, I'm scared. It's like, I'm like Tyrannosaurus Rex compared to a gibbering idiot to these people. And that's just physical prowess and will. "200 years ago, I was just the average model." Think about that. Think about that. And so other people look at what they've turned the public into and feel powerful. That'd be like if you chopped a baby's arms and legs off and, you know, then put it in a gladiatorial ring against some 6'7" guy, you know, top combat champion. He flies through the air and throws a spear into the baby and everybody throws rose petals at him. How is that some big, cool, honorable thing you did? I'm going to go to your calls in the news. I just, it's everything coming out is confirming my worst analysis. And I just can't even believe it anymore. Let me just show you what I was reading during the break. The world may have too much food. Of course, they always told us there wasn't enough food, so we need to kill people. Now there's too much. We need to have artificial scarcity so people aren't fat. No, people need to learn discipline and not sit in front of the television all day. Oh, but you put a carrier wave in there that basically makes them do it, just like you add additives to the fast food that make you get hungry again. That's all public. The very people doing this to us, greasing the skids for our own weaknesses, exacerbating the crises, not letting them go to waste. Children now spend less time outside than the average prisoner. It's rare to find children rolling down hills, climbing trees, and spinning in circles just for fun. Folks, I've had people try to take one of my children from me. I didn't get into this on air because in a jiu-jitsu class, he broke his toe. I mean, you don't just think I'm just up here on air doing the show and not experiencing what all of you are experiencing, right? And seeing it done to everybody else, too. They're killing everybody They're making us all the bubble boy. So we have no hope of resisting what they're doing in the next phase. And now you're a prisoner for life. You will do whatever they say. You will read their books, watch their TV shows, follow their directives. You are now a total mind slave. And you drank fluoride your whole life. You had formula designed to massively reduce the CC size of your brain from 20 to 45% on average. It's in that spectrum, depending on the formula. You are a victim of a technotronic, psycho, global program that's declassified. You were hit and hit hard. And they just hope that you don't care and join them like a zombie. But many of you would have been geniuses. Now you still have average intelligence, and that's who I'm targeting, myself included. My dad was like one of the top people in the state at mathematics, engineering. He was in UT when he was a junior in high school, salutatorian in high school, would have been valedictorian, but he was too busy already, working in cancer research facilities in Houston when he was 16. Everybody else before me on the other side of the family was smarter than I am cognitively, literary, language, you name it. But I've still got all my primitive instincts that are good. But I'm brain damaged. I'm probably 20, 30 points lower than I should be. I should be about 150 IQ. Those of us that still can operate, we have to realize we've been hit with chemical and biological and cultural attack. We got to shake it off, realize it's basically an alien attack by a psycho breakaway group of controllers, and that if we know we're under attack, humans can then work around it and actually boost your cognitive ability once you know you're under attack instinctively. I go with my instincts. I go with my guts. As I get older, used to I didn't follow it. Every time I didn't follow my gut, I got screwed over and was wrong. Turns out my gut is my big subconscious brain and all the research of my life and all that data and all those instincts and all those ancestors and everything at a first approximation, because I'm dialed in and tuned in, saying that's what's going on. And then if I go with that first approximation and research it more, I find out it's much deeper and much more accurate than I even thought. And that's where the next level of research comes in. But they try to counterfeit that. They try to put out fake gestalts of false reality, hoping folks go with their false instinct to fool the instinct and go with that lie. But the way you topple the whole system is, once you get somebody to learn fake approximations and first analysis and thin slicing from real ones, then that's how you can have a paradigm shift so quick with even a dumbed down public. Because even they're dumbed down from birth doesn't mean their subconscious isn't incredibly powerful and their survival instincts still operating right there in the background, ready to be activated at any moment. And the truth is exciting. It's wild. It's interesting. Let me tell you, you're going to wake up if you tune into the reality and look into this for yourself in a science fiction horror film. But it's animating, it's fun, it's exciting to be involved, to know what's going on, and to flip the switches in your body to resist it that are designed to make you survive and thrive. It is this animating pressure that is going to empower us, and the enemy would say that's why we're doing it, to make people that are going to be empowered become empowered, but those that fall to it, they deserve to die and be destroyed by eugenics. That's a very immoral, evil program, and I'll go one further. You're not just doing that. That's your public, outside, porch, outside the true inner party program to tell people you're doing eugenics to empower the species. That's pop psychology. That's pop eugenics. Real eugenics is about targeting super genes, elite genes, innovative genes, trailblazing genes, loving genes that the sociopath control freaks, psychopathic inbred OCD, mental patient control guilds are threatened by. The satanic bloodlines, it's not that it's Jewish or it's black or it's white or it's Asian. It's in every group, Asian, black, whatever. It's about the same number of psychopaths and sociopaths and other people that are predisposed. Nature loads the gun. Environment pulls the trigger. Epigenetics, all the rest of it. And you've got a certain number of people that are psychopaths, another number that are sociopaths, and then they're artificially engaging in cultural brainwashing to produce artificial sociopaths as their armies. But soon that won't matter because the machines are coming in who will follow orders and are autonomous under globalist control.